Hello, and welcome to another Vitamin Mind video. Today, I'd like to talk to you about my home, West Campus. Located just west of the University of Texas, West Campus is a one-of-a-kind urban neighborhood that can be identified by its historical landmarks, food truck malls, housing co-ops, and an all-around party culture. But more unique than anything else is the neighborhood's urban form and how it serves as a model for sustainable urban growth. Please join me for a few minutes as I make the case for Walkable Urbanism featuring West Campus. To begin, let's look at West Campus's history, and amidst all of the construction, a handful of historical landmarks make the neighborhood unique. Notably, the Neil Cochran House, which was built in 1856, is an example of the wealthy homes that once made up West Campus. Its stately Greek Revivalist columns symbolize the influence of the antebellum South. But after the Civil War, the house took on a radically new life. It became a hospital for the Union soldiers that occupied Austin as it went through the Reconstruction years. Today, the house has found a third life as a popular wedding venue and a museum. Aside from the Neil Cochran, the R.L. Moore House also highlights the numerous university professors who once called West Campus home. This should come as no surprise since the neighborhood is so close to the university, but it doesn't hurt to have a real-life reminder. As for his part, Moore is a controversial figure. He was a brilliant mathematician, so much so that Robert Lee Moore Hall is named after him. But on the other hand, he was known to be racist and strongly opposed UT's desegregation. Regardless of their history, historical landmarks like the R.L. Moore House all provide the neighborhood with an air of importance and will stay in West Campus for the foreseeable future. While old history is nice, it's the recent history that is most intriguing. As early as 2000, the neighborhood was comprised mostly of single-family homes and small apartment complexes. New apartments had been banned in 1984, and housing growth stunted at around 4,000 units. Residual homes of this time can still be seen today and are among the more affordable housing options. However, as university enrollment grew, pressure to build housing did as well. By 2004, the city rezoned the neighborhood. That is, they changed what could legally be built in an attempt to expand housing supply. Their solution was bold and challenged the traditional model of urban growth. Known as the University Neighborhood Overlay, UNO, the rezoning drastically raised building height limits to 175, 90, 75, 70, 60, 50, 45, and 40 feet. The plan was to make a walkable urban village open to as many people as possible, and UNO had several stipulations that ensured this would happen. First, 10% of all housing units built had to be affordable to people earning 80% of the regional MFI, that is, the regional median family income, and another 10% had to be affordable to people earning 65%. It then defined the major east-west streets as pedestrian corridors and prohibited new buildings from building driveways into them. As for sidewalks, new buildings had to make them 12 feet wide and complete with street trees and human-scale lighting. Any dumpsters needed to be hidden from street view, and solo parking garages needed to hide parking behind ground floor retail. These measures helped ensure that West Campus would have a pleasant streetscape open to people of all backgrounds. So with the apartment ban finally lifted, West Campus began to grow at an incredible rate. In 15 years, the rezoning has resulted in 59 new buildings for a total of 428 new floors, 5,710 new housing units, 699 of which are affordable, and about 18,000 beds. The graphic you see before you right now documents the growth of West Campus each year. And as each new resident moved in, the streets became more vibrant and able to support more diverse amenities. At the time of filming, West Campus hosted 3 food truck malls, 61 restaurants, ranging from barbecue to Thai, a fight club, a grocery store, 2 computer repair shops, and 60 other retail locations. Meeting with friends and grabbing dinner together is encouraged by the compactness of the neighborhood. Naturally, walking is the best way to get around, and the neighborhood has been rated the 3rd most walkable in Texas. This is great because it makes our neighborhood one of the most energy efficient. In the US, transportation by vehicle accounts for 28.8% of all energy usage. Unsurprisingly, alternative modes like walking, cycling, and transit have the potential to slash emissions, and it's urban forms like West Campus that allow these modes to thrive. To get a more detailed picture of West Campus's walkability, I conducted a small survey on residents and their travel patterns. From 95 respondents, here are my findings. 81.8% of trips to and from the university are made on foot, and only 3.6% by car. There are 1.6 people for each car, and drivers spend a median time of 1.3 hours driving per week. For comparison, the rest of the Austin area is almost entirely auto-dependent, meaning that 97.5% of trips to and from work are made by car. For each adult, there is one car, and the average time a driver spends driving is 8.7 hours per week. Living car-free is encouraged by West Campus's urban design, even if it is an island amidst auto-dependent infrastructure. And the neighborhood is energy efficient in another way: home density. Since the average home in West Campus is much smaller than new suburban homes, it takes far less energy to heat and cool them. Building energy loss happens through windows, walls, and roofs, but since apartments share most of their walls and roofs, this energy loss is negated. What results is that an apartment unit tends to use about half the amount of energy that a single-family home does. Considering that US buildings consume about 40% of US energy production, and that in the past 50 years, all new homes in Austin look more or less like this, West Campus again represents an opportunity to vastly diminish carbon footprints. So what lessons can we pull from UNO and West Campus? Well, the obvious takeaway is that building dense housing near workplaces is the most energy efficient urban form. To create sustainable cities, we need to build homes near downtown, where people can take advantage of walking, cycling, and transit. But that much is obvious. I think a deeper lesson is that the neighborhood's design is also very humanistic. As social animals, we need to find ways to connect, and the wide sidewalks and ubiquitous street trees of West Campus are a great setting to put us at ease with each other. As we walk down the street, we can see 10 different types of people and feel completely at ease. In fact, we can walk down the street and feel energized by all the activity that is going on around us. And there's something special about that feeling. It's what compels us to fly to travel destinations like Amsterdam, Paris, and hell, even Disneyland. That ability to share public space is something that we deeply desire. It's something that we can induce through thoughtful urban design. The success of West Campus is proof that there is demand for this kind of living, and that we should not be outlawing density. But just like the apartment ban of 1984, American cities have, for the most part, outlawed apartments in their central neighborhoods. If you look at your city's zoning map, you will probably find that your downtown is surrounded by a sea of single-family zoning, and any attempt to rezone is met with fierce neighborhood opposition. This is backwards. It forces our cities to grow in ways that are not energy efficient or designed for people. We have the power to reverse this. Laws are merely social constructions, and it's time we rethink how cities grow. Do we want them to be dense, energy efficient, and desirable places like West Campus? Or do we want them to endlessly expand into suburban wastelands? I'll let you decide, but know that our climate and our happiness depend on it. Hello, if you enjoyed this video and want to get involved in urban issues like housing and transportation, I'd highly recommend finding your local urbanist group. Here in Austin, that group is called Aura, and we advocate at the local level for better policy and better urban design. We speak at city council meetings, organize grassroots involvement, and have a good time while we do it. After being with them for 2 years, it's very rewarding to see how the conversation we've created resulted in actual change. I'd encourage you to join your local urbanist group, and I've linked a few below. Anyway, thanks again for watching, and subscribe if you feel so inclined.